Okay, let's see if we can continue on now. Clean up this mess. Get our instruction sheet back. Okay, now we are ready to start assembling some pieces, and hopefully I have enough of everything cut that we can have a block of each done. So we're going to start with our unit A, which is our A and L block. So you're going to put one there. We need a unit 1B there, an M, which is this, I'm going to have to move some pieces. Give me just a second. No matter how hard I try to get everything lined out, I still end up not getting everything in the right place. Let's move these over. We need one of the J triangles. Watch your placement on those. Real easy to get out of control. We need a unit 1B. Another M. Another J. And an M. And two J's. One there and one goes here. So now we're going to sew that together, and that will create unit 3A. Let's move some stuff out of our way. I like to chain sew again, but I like to go down the row. So we'll start here. Sew these two pieces together. Once again, check your 1/4 inch seams. Don't get in a hurry. Just relax and enjoy what you're doing. And for what we're doing here, as each section comes off the back of the machine, well, I would think I could find the threads, but give me just a second. Here we go. I like to go ahead and open it back up. Check my placement again with 1A versus 1B. So put that back. Now we're going to pick these up. And when you're doing all of your blocks, you can just chain sew each row, but I actually prefer to do one block at a time because I don't want to get too far out of control. Goes there. We're going to put this on because this piece is going to be the very last that we sew on. And you can do this however it works for you. This just works for me because I can continually sew and not have to stop and start. going to put this one on. Let me take this off, and we will press and sew the rest of the pieces on there. So there you go. You have everything in a diagonal. Now, before you do anything more, you need to determine and remember which direction you want to press in, because you want to press one row that direction, one row this direction, and one row that direction. So we'll pick this up, press everything the same direction, press it from the back, and then flip it over and press it from the front, so you can be sure that nothing got creased. And I know my sewing pressing area is a little small, but in order to get everything I needed to be able to teach, this was the only way to do it. So now we have those going that direction, these going this direction. We're going to press towards the blue. Now, before I start sewing that together, I'm going to go ahead and sew this piece on the bottom so that it's not there to get lost. You can wait and sew it on last, but this works. I also like to go ahead and trim off these little dog ears so my pieces look nicer when they're done. Let's put you back and you, and we're going to press this one down. Okay, now we're ready to do our rows. By pressing our seams in opposite directions, it allows us to lock these joins so that you get a nicer corner. You can feel it as it locks. Just be sure as you're sewing, sometimes you have to flip that one piece of fabric over so that it doesn't go in under and turn your seam backwards. Okay, let's end this again. And it is a lot of starting and stopping when you're just trying to do one block. But I didn't want you to have to watch me sew all 8 blocks. So we're going to trim that corner off. Open this back up. Flip this piece over. Lock your seams again. still. Okay, let's take this off and see what we have. We need to press it. I'm going to press it all down. Then flip it over. Press into each seam so you can make sure that it's opened up nice. And there's one section. Now I've tried to decide whether I should do one of each block, but I think once we go through the one you can follow your instructions because it tells you exactly which colors to put where. If that seems to be a problem once you get started and you need more information, let me know. But I think at this point we're ready to go on down to the next station. So we need a fabric D. Let's move that out of the way. Fabric D, which will be turned this direction. 2 fabric L's. An M. And we're ready to place that and sew. We need a small M, not a large. So we're going to have this, this, and this. So you're going to start sewing from the bottom up. Make sure everything lines up nice and straight. Now you can stop sewing at the end of that piece or go to the end so you can chain sew, which I'm going to go to the end. Now we're going to flip this over, sew it, take it off, and believe it or not, I have just about used every little corner that was cut off the pieces of block 1. Okay. Set your seam, press it open. This is going to be this way. So we want to set our seam and press toward the square. And that seam didn't go flat. Now, flip that over. So from this edge, lock your seams. Sew all the way down. Now we're going to take this section off. Set our seam again. Press that open. And don't press that in that funny fashion. Okay, now we are going to trim that piece even across. I just line it up to the edge of the triangle piece. And cut. Didn't quite get that one like I would like it. Okay, now we have that. You're going to do 4 with, well, like we just did, and then you're going to do 4 more in the darker for the other block. Now we're going to work on this edge right here. This tells us what we need to do. So let's put that aside and make room to lay out our units. We need an O. Two O's. We're going to lay out both blocks, both rows at the same time. We need a unit 2B, and as you can see, the dark goes to the top. Another unit 2B, a unit 2A, and 2A. That's all of that one. Excuse me. A unit 2B, two B, two A, two A, and a 2C. Okay, now we're going to sew those. We're going to work on both rows at the same time so we can save a few minutes. These colors blend very well, but when you're trying to sew them, they all look the same. This way you can continually sew and not have to stop and start, stop and start. I thought this was a very interesting way to do a block. There's a few things I've done on this quilt that I haven't done on any others, which is good. I like a challenge. These are definitely my colors. If you could see around in my studio, you would see that pretty much everything in here is some shade of purple. And this one will have one extra piece, so we will have to stop and start. So that one's done. One more piece. Then we're ready to press and attach. Okay. This one looks like it really prefers to go that direction. And at this point, I don't think it matters because it's just adjoining the other pieces. So there's that one, nice and ready. Let's clip that off. And there's that one. Now this makes Unit 5A and Unit 5B. So now we're going to put that with this piece, Unit 5A, Unit 5B. We'll do this side first. And I didn't take time to label those, but you would need to if you were working on all of them at once. let's open this up. I think I'm going to press to the centerpiece. Let's flip this up and sew this on. Okay, let's see where we are now. Going to also press that one towards the center. Looks like we need to trim just a little. Fabric stretched some. Trim each end. I don't like things to not be close to perfect. Dealing with the bias fabrics, it is going to stretch on you. Okay. Now, we're going to join it to this piece. And it really doesn't matter which side you have up, just make sure that all your edges are even. And try to not pull on it if you can keep from it, because it is bias. All those little edges under there. Okay, are we ready to see what we've done? There's our finished block. This is block 3A. Let's give it a good pressing. Use all the same steps for the rest of the blocks. If you have any questions, send me a message on email. Once Miss D has everything set up, I'll have my email address available, and you can always find me by Facebook. So there we go. Block 3. We will see you next month. Thank you.